teachers are somehow required to have a break because it's stressful? The pandemic has added extra stress for their lives? Well, guess what? It's added extra stress to everyone's life. Delaying March break to deal with COVID-19 and the UK variant. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. If you haven't heard, the Ford government is looking to delay March break, not cancel it, delay it either to April or May, or possibly just end school 5 days earlier in June. Let the kids out earlier. The reasoning? Well, it has to do with trying to control COVID-19 and the variants. Now, there's a lot of different reaction on this, and it's going to depend on your own personal circumstances. I'm hearing from parents who love the idea. I'm hearing from parents who hate the idea. And I'm hearing from a lot of teachers who just loathe the idea and keep saying, but we need a break. Okay, let me deal with the idea of why we're doing this first, and then I'll deal with the we need a break argument. Why is the government looking at doing this? Because of the advice of public health officials, because of the advice of the people at the science table who look at the modeling. Now, I understand there are questions about the models, complaints that they've always been wrong. They've been wrong on some things, right on others. And one of the things that they're good at is determining when we will have a first wave, a second wave, and now the fear is a third wave of the UK variant coming at about the middle of March, just as schools are supposed to let out for a week. We saw what happened at Christmas with the break there and younger children catching COVID-19 as families understandably got together. The government's worried about that. If they can delay for several weeks before having the spring break, well then they could delay having to shut down schools again or cases spiking and talk about another lockdown. That's the thinking behind why they're doing it. Now, as for this idea that, well, teachers need a break or kids need a break, they have been doing school at home, yes, but parents also need a break as well, and kids need the structure. But this idea that teachers are somehow required to have a break because it's stressful, that the pandemic has added extra stress for their lives, well, guess what? It's added extra stress to everyone's life. It's horrible, it's awful, and we all hate it. But this idea that you need an extra week off, well, what about the nurses, the doctors, the personal support workers working in long-term care facilities? Did they just get 2 weeks off at Christmas, and are they now demanding that they have an extra week off in the middle of March? No, they've been working on this from the beginning, and they will continue to. I have a lot of sympathy for teachers. You may not think that if you're a teacher and you read what I write, but it's true. I do. But the self-entitled attitude of some of the union leadership and the activists online who bemoan everything that the government suggests, it doesn't do you any favors. We're all trying to get through this. We are supposedly all in this together. Start showing it with the attitude that comes from the top of your organizations that represent you in public. Right now, what they're showing is a me-first attitude and everyone else be damned. That's not going to help anyone. The idea of delaying this to keep kids safe, to slow down the spread of COVID-19, it makes sense based on the data that's been presented, and I'm sure more data will be forthcoming. This is not a partisan viewpoint. This is not something that should be argued on politics. This is about what's right and doing what's best to keep kids safe, to keep schools open, to keep opening up society at a time when we just don't know what's coming next.